Grow your oj gradually every day. Oj is the net distillate of the Saptadhatus, the Ras, Rakt, Mans, Med, Majja, Asthi, Shukra. So the end of the seventh dhatu, which is the most distillate and concentrated and purified uh, semen in case of men, and the ovarian influences in case of females. Um, it is very important to project your oj, and the oj is usually destroyed by reckless sexual activities, as well as using angry negative emotions, which can be the emotions of lust, anger, and greed. So to protect and fortify your oj, you have to have a very structured, disciplined day. Usually, the day should start in the Brahma Muhurat, which is around 60 to 90 minutes before sunrise, at which time you do dhyana. Dhyana or contemplation to liquidate the vasanas. In this, you are visualizing yourself doing constructive work for the rest of the day, or visualizing the personal form of your Ishtadev, or meditating on the breath or the prana. And some people will do rechak or retention of the breath. Take deep breaths and hold them as long as you can and let them go. Do the Chandra Bhedi and the Surya Bhedi pranayam. But no matter what you do, you have to create a sense of equanimity, composure, calmness within yourself. That is why what you do in Brahma Muhurat, and anything you do in Brahma Muhurat, will get amplified. The effects will get amplified because of the timing of the Brahma Muhurat, which is just before sunrise. Then comes the rajas of the sun, and during this time you should do the most rajasic yoga. The most rajasic or the activity filled yoga is karma yoga. You have to do it in the mode of nishkam karma. So that can be in the form of community service, service to your family members, friends, and you can also do acts of charity and volunteer organizations, or just go to work and do your work the best way that you would do, as if you were the client receiving those services. How would you like the services to be done? So that is the beauty of nishkam karma. The third thing that you have to do intermittently or concomitantly, simultaneously with nishkam karma yoga, is bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga helps to extinguish the excess ego that is hiding within ourselves, or the stresses that we might be getting from the surrounding environments. If you do not do bhakti yoga, these stresses will accumulate inside you, creating feelings of emptiness, boredom, ennui, and inadequate feelings. And hence, person will resort to the pleasure seeking tendencies because he's feeling overwhelmed by these anxieties that are haunting and making him weaker slowly, one after the other, because of the environment that he's surrounding himself, or the situations, or the way other people have responded to him, because he's still growing. He's not quite mature and Teflon tough resistant to all the temptations, distractions, or frustrations that other people might be unloading on him. So very important to protect your oja from the negative ions, negative forces that are lying around in the form of emotions. So bhakti yoga helps to reduce your ego. That way you're not internalizing any disrespect or frustration that is hurled at you, and you just shrug it off your shoulders and walk away, because you're in the mode of levity or sattva. So that is why bhakti yoga or chanting helps, because you are annihilating your ego and surrendering to a higher power. And whenever the sensual pleasure seeking tendency rises, because sex is nothing but a misdirected way of loving or uniting with someone else. So it's kind of a tantric yoga, if you will, but has repercussions, obviously, when you practice it with yourself or in the form of PMO and stuff like that. But the whole point is that bhakti yoga helps to unload the ego and annihilate all the boredom and ennui that can lead to a feeling of emptiness and inadequacy, which can lead to either overeating or indulging in sex inappropriately or masturbation stuff, things of that nature. So all day you have done these three things. Morning you did establishment of dharma in the dhyana, contemplation liquidates vasana. Throughout the day you did your nishkam karma in the form of service to friends, family, community, or whatever your passions fill you with, because the sun is out and you're filled with rajas. And also in the evening or throughout the day intermittently you're doing bhakti yoga to annihilate your ego. When you have done all these three, you have no time left, because you had a very structured day and you had decided in the morning itself what hours you will be doing what. You did not leave yourself with a single minute empty minded. And in between these two, you also have to do some chores which are filled with tapas, which includes cold water showers, some intermittent fasting, and then notice the level of levity and the happiness and the joy that your atman gets filled with, because you are letting the energy of the oja manifest itself as bliss in the anandamay sharir, or the internal most kosha of your body. And when you go and you hit the pillow, you fall asleep right away. No vasanas or temptations, distractions will draw you towards you, and you will fall asleep very quickly and fall very deep sleep. You might not sleep for 10 hours, and that's exactly the whole point. You are trying to live as long as you are alive and not just sleep away in tamas. The characteristics of sleep of a yogi are very short sleep. It's like 4 or 5 hours, and they sleep very deep. Also, most of them do not dream. If you have not thought about stuff which are distracting, tempting throughout the day, it's not getting registered in the subconscious mind subconsciously. However, people who are relegating to the obsessions, compulsions, addictions, because there is mindless repetition of the activities, they are changing their vritti waves of the manas and kind of sinking them into the subconscious samskaras, and that's how they manifest as rajasic dreams. So the sattvic yogi doesn't dream a lot. The sattvic yogi sleeps 4 or 5 hours because his eyes open up anyways when the sunlight hits or when it's close to Brahma Muhurat. But the Sattvic yogi feels very relaxed and rested and full of energy, because he has met the Turiya, or the fourth stage of satisfaction, in his dreams. So he has transgressed the tamasic obsession compulsions or the rajasic passions manifesting as dreams when most people are sleeping. And it's okay to dream. There's nothing you can do about it other than just doing a structured, disciplined daily routine of Brahma Muhurat dhyana to establish dharma, daily activities of nishkam karma, and topping it off with bhakti yoga, chanting, praying, meditation at the end of the day. This is the way to protect, preserve, and grow your oja, and slowly you will realize that you're a happy person, no matter how much money you make, no matter whether you have people who are giving you attention all the time or not. And if you are joyful in your inner mind, in your inner koshas, then it will radiate out to the surrounding, and the people around you will also reap the benefits of those positive vibes that you have created. Hope you like this audio. Thank you.